everyone, and welcome to a brand new show right here on AFL.com.au. My name is Nat Edwards, and in case you missed it, here's what happened in round one. Let's start at the MCG. It was a disaster for Melbourne. We had Christian Petrarca and Clayton Oliver both missed shots at goal in the final 3 minutes, and then we had not one, but 3 balls kicked out of bounds on the full. The coaches were not happy whatsoever. You can see Chris Scott's face there telling the story, and then this happened.
Sticks it to Gawn. Gawn is going to have a shot from 20 out, and by the time he kicks it, there will be about 12 or 13 seconds left. 16 seconds, 15 seconds. Gawn has kicked the goal. No, he's missed. No, he's missed.
So Gawn devastated, and you can see Cam Guthrie there in the bottom of the screen have words with Melbourne's big man, and he didn't take too kindly to that. I wonder what was said. Don't worry, we'll get to the bottom of it on AFL.com.au. And just a funny note, Chris Scott actually had to leave the coach's box with about 30 seconds to go. He couldn't bear to watch Max Gawn take that kick, so he went off to the loo. Very strange indeed. Anyway, the game was highlighted by Gary Ablett's return to Geelong's colours. He had a fantastic performance, 39 disposals. Can you believe it? Well, yeah, you probably guessed he was going to have a day out at the MCG in his first game back for the Cats. Brilliant stuff from the little master. All right, let's move on to the West. It was West Coast up against Sydney. And it was the first game, the first men's game, I should say, at Optus Stadium. 53,500 fans in there, and they saw a fast-finishing Eagles, unfortunately, fall short.
He's going to send it to the top of the square. Sinclair was there. Parker over his head. Luke Parker! What an amazing bit of play by Luke Parker! Unbelievable goal!
But all the talk is the scissor kick. Have you done that before? What was going through your mind?
I haven't done it before, no, but I don't know, just threw a boot at it and it was a bit of pure arse, I guess.
What a goal. Pure arse indeed. But aside from Luke Parker's amazing miracle goal, it was Buddy Franklin, let's face it. He stole the show. Not one, not two, but 8 brilliant goals in his opening game for 2018. He has fired a shot early, 21 touches to go along with those 8 goals as well. So he has become a superstar once again for season 2018. Let's move on to some injuries, and it's not something we like to talk about, but unfortunately the season looks like it is done for Tom Liberatore this time, and you can see him there in a lot of pain. This time it's his right knee. He ruptured the ACL in his left knee back in 2015 and missed the entire season there. And really, it was just a dogged day for the Bulldogs over in Canberra, belted by the Giants by 81 points. Luke Beveridge spoke after the game. He was asked if Liberatore's injury had any impact on the result.
Oh, you'd like to think it doesn't have an 80-odd point effect on him. May have had some. We expected to be better, but they were very, very good. Far superior. Probably a bit fortunate it wasn't a bit more in the end. So, when you ask me what went wrong, it's really hard to find too many shining lights today, whether it be an individual or anything to do with the way we wanted to play.
Not a good start at all for the Bulldogs in Canberra. Another injury, and that happened over in South Australia, and it was Paddy Ryder, the Port Adelaide star, going down with an Achilles injury. It was very innocuous. He was sort of walking back, and you can see it there. He just sort of pulled up sore, and he's unfortunately finished the game on the bench. Not great news for Paddy. It's something he's had to manage for the last 4 to 5 years, and Ken Hinkley has confirmed he will need some time on the sidelines to get that Achilles right. Well, we spoke about Buddy Franklin off the top of the show, and he wasn't the only one on fire. Let's talk about Tom Mitchell, the Star Hawk. He was in scintillating form on Saturday night against Collingwood. 54 touches, if you don't mind. 27 of those contested possessions. And Tommy, he loves playing against the Pies. Last year, he had 50 touches in one of their earlier meetings. And the Pies, well, they didn't think they would bother tagging him again, and he had 51 touches, which is an AFL record, by the way. So he was incredible. Mason Cox, though, on the other hand, was running completely cold. He could not take a mark to save himself. It's fair to say he had an absolute stinker. An absolute stinker. 6 disposals and 0 marks, and unfortunately it looks like he may come under fire at Monday's match review meeting. So Michael Christian will have his work cut out there. So we spoke about Buddy's 8 goals or Tom Mitchell's 54 disposals. Who had the better game? It's a good talking point for the week around the water cooler. So make sure you get in touch with us on social media and let us know. Use the hashtag ICYMI. And that takes us straight to the buzz. It was raining goals at Optus Stadium, as we know with Buddy, but it was raining cats and dogs in Queensland. This in Port Douglas, a crocodile on the footy field. Luckily, we didn't have that up in Cairns, but still, it was shocking conditions. Look at this vision now. It's like a swimming pool. The players had an absolute bath. I don't know how they managed to play in these conditions, but the Suns, to their credit, managed to hang on and notch up Stuart Dew's very first win as coach. So a fantastic start to the season for the Gold Coast Suns, albeit in very, very trying conditions. All right, let's talk St Kilda now, because they had a tough task against a very good Brisbane Lions side, which I think surprised everyone. But there's been question marks about whether they have an A-grade midfielder in their midst. Well, those questions have been answered. Enter Jack Steven. 34 disposals, 2 goals, and he used his explosiveness and speed, as you can see there with that goal. He was terrific, burning off Luke Hodge. See you later to the Brisbane Lions veteran. Brilliant stuff by Jack Steven. All right, the match review. Well, it's been talked about over the last couple of days, but Richard Douglas has been handed a 1-game suspension for this high bump on Zach Merritt, and he'll have until 11 a.m. on Monday morning to decide whether he will accept this sanction or appeal it. So unlucky for Richard Douglas of the Adelaide Crows. And it was a great comeback from the Bombers on Friday night at Etihad Stadium. We thought the Crows, after a 7-goal third quarter, had it in the bag, but to Essendon's credit, they came back and the crowd didn't. They love it. Great wins for Adam Sard, Jake Stringer, and of course Devon Smith, the new recruits in their very first game for Essendon. Now let's talk a little bit about the coaches, and we love hearing them after their matches in their press conferences. Well, Toby Nankervis, the Richmond big man, kept coming on and off with his head. He had a cut and he was just bleeding all over the place. This is what Damien Hardwick had to say about him after the game.
Yeah, well, he had three times off the ground. I told him to stop using moisturiser on his skin, so he hardens up a little bit. It's a concern, but you can worry about it or you can accept that it may happen. We play our best footy at this stage without a second tall or a second ruck.
Damien Hardwick there. Nice stuff. Maybe a comedy festival show awaits for Dimmer. Probably not. All right, on in case you missed it every week, we like to have a play of the round. And let's face it, nothing is going to beat Luke Parker's goal, so we might as well show it again. And here is his scissor kick, the miracle goal, and I'm pretty sure you can say that this is a lock already for goal of the year. This video is going absolutely viral on social media right now. So there were plenty of contenders for play of the round. That one, obviously the best one, but there was one that was definitely not a contender for play of the round. And sorry, Tom Phillips, but I've got to throw you in there. This was hilarious stuff on Saturday night at the MCG. Look at him there, just overbalancing And he couldn't get it done, and the reaction from his coach, Nathan Buckley, is absolutely priceless. Sorry, Tommy, but I had to throw you under the bus. My bad. All right, let's take a look at the ladder after just one round of footy, and it's the Giants after their massive win over the Bulldogs right on top. Port Adelaide, Hawthorn and the Gold Coast Suns rounding out the top four. Essendon is in the 8. Sure to climb. Geelong just outside. Melbourne, Adelaide, Carlton. And then looking at the bottom, Fremantle. And unfortunately, the Western Bulldogs languishing in last position. Let's take a look at round 2 now. And the grand final rematch, Adelaide up against the Tigers at Adelaide Oval. Then we've got Good Friday footy at Etihad Stadium. Carlton and Gold Coast on Saturday. Collingwood and the Giants. And then Freo and Essendon on Saturday night. Looking at Sunday, the Dogs and the Eagles, the Swans and Port Adelaide, and then, of course, Easter Monday, Geelong up against the Hawks. So that's what's happened in round 1. Let's take a look now at what is coming up next week. And look, it's fair to say Danger Watch is going to be the go. We know Paddy Dangerfield, it's been 2 weeks since he strained his hamstring. He trained on Sunday. Can he make it back for Easter Monday? I'm pretty sure he will, but no doubt all the cameras will be watching his every move. Thanks so much for joining us on In Case You Missed It. Don't forget, we'll be back again, same time next week.